Hi, do not mind. 5 years ago, I wanted to understand cognitive skills and win a research competition. This curiosity made me learn about basal ganglia, deep brain structures that influence activity of the whole neocortex. A bit of context first. After bachelor studies, I found about this national competition for master students, where the prize was to skip the remaining master and starting PhD and your own research the very next year. I was into it. That was awesome. I had a chance to scan brains. But what am I going to research actually? Well, at that time I was interested in cognitive skills. So I figured out I can research them. How a skill could be cognitive if this is a skill, something that you do with your body. What about arithmetic skills or problem solving? I was thinking like that back then. What these cognitive skills are? If you search for cognitive skills on Google Scholar, top papers are 30, 40 years old, but people still use this term. So what cognitive skills are, how they are understood in the field? I went back in time for the answers. Endless articles and books with their own definitions. Acquisition of cognitive skills, contrast with sensory motor skills, relation to planning, to procedural and declarative knowledge, to amnesia, to working memory. It was a rabbit hole, a pit of despair. I had too many definitions and still no idea what cognitive skills really are. And the deadline for the project was approaching. Then I realized something. Cognitive and sensory motor skills were associated with different brain areas in the literature. Cognitive skills engage hippocampus and certain parts of basal ganglia, whereas sensory motor skills were activating different parts of basal ganglia. That was a clue. I had an idea how to understand cognitive skills and sensory motor skills on the level of the brain, but this was only a general direction. I had several weeks to finish the project. I understood cognitive skills as skills which are somehow dissociated from the movements of a body, like in a computer game. So I designed an experiment with tool use in games, such as Stardew Valley or Minecraft. I finished the project, submitted it, and the waiting for the results began. If I only knew about cognitive skills so much that I know today. Learning a skill initially requires this cognitive component, visible as activity of the hippocampus and limbic associative parts of basal ganglia. Some call it cognitive phase of skill acquisition that require involvement of working memory. Basal ganglia are located deep in the brain and are associated with basically everything. Emotions, associations, movement, thinking. For example, Parkinson's disease attacks these sensory motor parts of basal ganglia, and this observable outcome is a result of dysfunction of these circuits through basal ganglia. When a skill is learned, its execution is moved from these limbic associative parts of basal ganglia to sensory motor parts of basal ganglia, where the length of a skill is bracketed from start to end. The subsequent execution of a skill is observable as a shift from these limbic associative parts of basal ganglia to sensory motor parts of basal ganglia in research on both rodents and primates. A skill is thus a sensory motor sequence that is executed with ease given the activity of the sensory motor parts of basal ganglia. Crucially, it also applies to skills in computer games, because these are sensory motor skills after all. Finally, in the summer, after first year of master, the results came in. My work was one of the 80 submissions that got awarded. It felt surreal. I started first year of PhD, the project, and also continued the master on second year, where I defended my thesis, but that's another story. Since that time, I started to be serious about cognitive science, from passionate exploration to really focusing on that. I no longer had to work in a call center. Future is always unknown, but if you explore something with passion, you never know when possibilities arrive. Cheers.